have ever tried to put your child down and they curled up their feet like you're putting them in hot lava, hit that subscribe button. Wow. Are you hungry? Are you ready to eat? Let's eat. You ready for a bagel? Can you tell everyone hi? Can you say hi? No, you're just ready to eat? Let's eat. So, whenever I posted the last video, I mentioned that I would like to talk about Anna's eating next. So, somewhere around whenever she was 2, we started feeding her bagels. And she ate them all the time with no problem. They were very delicious. We would buy different flavors. Like today is French toast, but they also have original, of course. And we would get like blueberry. And we would put some cream cheese on them. She likes the cream cheese. She would eat them, not too much of a problem. And then suddenly, I would say maybe around 6 months ago, she started to refuse to eat them. And it took me a little while to figure out why, because I knew she wanted them, and she would always look at them and ask for them and, you know, reach for them and that kind of thing. But I just wasn't 100% sure why she wasn't eating them. So, yay, good job, Daddy. So what I noticed is that sometimes whenever she wants to eat a bagel, she doesn't want to touch the cream cheese because of the texture. It bothers her. So what I started doing was turning them upside down, and then I'll cut them into little pieces so that she can eat them easier. Kind of messed up today. Usually I actually take a pizza cutter and just cut it up. You know, I'll take a pizza cutter and just slice it up. That way it's in a bunch of little small pieces and easier for her to eat. But I also do that with other foods as well, like a slice of pizza. I'll take the slice of pizza because she used to eat pizza all the time. I mean, she was just a monster with it. And then suddenly we noticed that she stopped eating the pizza, and it's because of the sauce. She didn't want to touch the sauce. So I'm assuming, like most other autism children that I've seen on YouTube and other social media platforms, they like to eat breads and crunchy foods. So with the pizza, I turn it upside down and cut it as well sometimes too, so that it just looks like one big piece of bread. And she doesn't realize the cheese and sauce and everything's below it. And she doesn't have to touch those wet and slimy and mushy textures. She can just pick it up and eat it, and she thinks she's just eating the bread. Almost lost that one, didn't we? All right. On to the next one.
So food is a very challenging task for us in this house. Some days Anna is so great with her eating and we don't have any issues, but most days it's an issue. We're learning that kids with autism have sensory issues when it comes to food. It could be smell, it could be touch, it can be something as simple as the color of the food. So without her being able to communicate, it's kind of a guessing game in this house. And so as parents, we really struggle because we know that there's days she's not getting the nutrients she needs. We know that there's days where we kind of are sick to our stomachs because we think, did she eat well enough? And is she going to get sick? Is she going to end up in the hospital? Thankfully, we have some foods we can fall back on. She typically never refuses dry foods, especially crackers, anything with a crunch. But there's times where she'll eat so well and will even eat meat, and then for the most part she doesn't. So we're challenged in that area when it comes to her food, and we are learning on a day-to-day basis that We have to be very patient and introduce foods in a very unique way. So there's times where I know she's eaten this food before and I know she'll like it, but maybe the color of it looks off from when the last time she had it. So come here. Here you go. Here you go. Okay.
Okay. That's
Oh, that side too. Oh, hold on. I'll get it off. There, it's gone.
Let's go. So.
I have to get creative and almost like put the food on her lips so that she can taste it and know like, oh, okay, I actually like this food. A lot of the times that works. There's other times where she sees that coming and like she's tight-lipped, she shuts down and she doesn't want anything to do with it. So it's been a very, very difficult thing. I would say aside from obviously the nonverbal part of her, this is the most stressful because she's already so tiny and she's never been on the charts. I shouldn't laugh at that, but she's never been on the charts as a kid. Like, you know, they measure and weigh and do all that for her checkups with her pediatrician, and she's just never met any kind of percentile. She's always been in the negative percentile. So it can be very stressful for us as parents to take that on and know when we wake up for the day, like, is she gonna like something? Is she not gonna like something? When we do see that she likes something, we make the mistake most of the time and fully invest in what that is. So if we see that she likes Jell-O, I'll go out and buy as much Jell-O as I can get my hands on, thinking that, okay, this will sustain her and, like, you know, keep her happy for most of the day. And then tomorrow she doesn't like the Jell-O. So we just have a difficult time with food, and we're hoping that as we continue to therapy and we continue to figure out different ways to communicate, that one day she'll be able to tell us or non-verbally communicate with us like, hey, Mom, I don't like that because it's a darker brown than the last time, or I don't like the way that smells, or I don't like the color green and that's green and I don't want that. So we're learning, we're trying, and you know, if you have any suggestions on what we can do, we're open to that.
So, you know, one of the things that I had noticed the other day was that, one, if you don't cut Anna's food up, even if it is one of her favorite foods or, you know, one of the foods that she's likely to eat, she still won't eat it. So if it's a grilled cheese and it's not cut up into 1 inch by 1 inch squares, she's probably not going to touch it, even though she likes it or she'll be able to eat it that day. One of the things that I also noticed between Anna and her older brother Coy is that whenever he was younger, he never went to. I never went to bed, or he never went to bed hungry, or I never went to sleep at night worried if he actually got all the nutrition and, you know, minerals and vitamins and all that he needed for the day. And especially in his situation, even if he did have those spurts whenever he was younger, to where he would or wouldn't be eating stuff that he would, you know, throughout the day, if I was worried about, oh man, he hasn't ate enough, 100% of the time for him, I could always go back to some chicken nuggets or chicken strips or macaroni and cheese, you know, those kind of things, and some applesauce. For Anna, that is not the case. It is a day-to-day guess, and it's a huge stress on Mother and I. The only thing that is kind of strange that I think that she's just about always 100% on that she hasn't really turned down is bacon. So that's really the only food that's her go-to that we have to keep in mind. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.